Andy Ihnatko, what do you got for us?
Mine is just simple storage. I usually travel, particularly since I switched to MacBooks that have built-in SSDs, to supplement that with an SSD and an external case. And this was the one that I used to travel with. But then I replaced it with this, which is the Samsung portable SSD T1, for reasons that should be obvious, because that's now, whereas this was big enough that, of course, it's not a big deal to carry it, but it takes up a big pocket in my laptop bag, whereas this, I may as well always have this with me because it's just that small and just that light. And it is also a USB 3.0 drive, and it is also super fast, and it's also, unlike a thumb drive, fast enough that I can actually use it for like my Lightroom files and my iMovie projects, which is what I generally use these things for. Yeah, exactly. And this is 500 gigabytes. Not that expensive either. It's 100. The price just dropped to about $164. You can get them pretty much anywhere for $164.
$156 on Amazon.
Exactly, and you can get the 250 gigabyte version for about half of that, and they make them in sizes as big as a terabyte. I think that for me, 512 is the right size because, again, I like to be able to have whatever the huge pile of photos that I'm working on at any given moment, plus whatever huge video project I might be working on at any given moment. I want to have that there, plus whatever high def Blu-ray rips that I might want to load on and then take off of my iPads. I don't have to. The great thing about having the extra storage is that I don't have to think about whether I want to take something with me or not. I'll just have it with me. The only caveat is that it has this really dumb thing where I've got this formatted as a regular Mac OS volume, like most things that you buy as a pre-made drive. It's formatted as FAT for Windows or Mac. So when you first plug it in, it will mount as a 128 megabyte flash drive, which will make you disappointed and sad until you realize that there is a Mac app that you have to double-click to install a special added driver that does nothing but add. Well, excuse me, does two things. It adds a smart ability to it. So if it's about to fail, then it will do nothing to tell disk utility that it's about to fail, but you can still reassure yourself that it says smart status, everything's fine. It doesn't do anything. But it also has a driver for SSD, SCSI SSD or something like that, which will technically make it run faster under certain circumstances. I like the idea of not having to have a special driver installed for any reasons, and also not have to worry about what is this driver going to be doing to future compatibility of other software I've got on this device. So you have to. It will not prepare it as a regular volume until you do that installation. But as soon as you do that, you can then click over into disk utility, reformat it as whatever you want, and then run a couple of sudo commands to remove whatever drivers, and it will mount just fine.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Yeah.
But like I said, it has that really cool, like, it'll identify this as a 2013 to 2015 thing. It has that,
it's
like,
the size of a matchbox
sort of thing.
It's so
exactly.
small.
I mean, you may as well have it. You may as well have it with you. I'm preparing a talk that I'm going to be giving at the Yosemite conference next month, and always, I'll have my talk all finished like a week beforehand, but then the night before I'll be thinking, you know what should go there? Remember when I was in Boston Common and I saw that duck that was tapping at a piece of wire? That would be perfect here. And because I travel with my last 2 months worth of photos with me, I can now insert at 4 a.m., 3 hours before I'm supposed to give my presentation, the picture of the duck standing on top of a wire.
Does anybody make so it uses that funny USB 3 connector on it, not a standard, it's that weird one with a little dimple in it. Does anybody make that to Type-C? Because that would be so great for a MacBook.
That would be super cool, but I haven't seen it yet. This model just came out last year, so it's still fairly fresh. I mean, and it's not as though it comes with this, and it's not as though this is all that inconvenient to carry. But yeah, if you don't have the right cable with you, you're pretty much hosed.
Yeah, but I mean that goes into a standard USB port, so it would work on you could put an adapter on it.
You get a seated USB.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It'll work with anything. And
does it come with a cable?
It comes with the cable, right? You're all set to go.
Nice little short one, which I like.
I'm glad to see that Anantech's benchmarks seem to be spot on. I did some tests with it today, and in many cases, it's actually faster than my Thunderbolt drives.
Wow!
It's faster at reading than it is at writing. But even like when you're using it as again, if you've got your Lightroom library on it, it's still plenty fast, a lot faster than the 1 terabyte pocket drive, spinning pocket drive that you might have put inside here. Like I said, it's what I like the most about these drives is I already get the benefit of being able to like walk around and like not have to wait for the drive to spin down if I just want to move from the living room back to the bedroom. With this hanging off the side of my MacBook, it's like I don't have to wait for that to park as well. The number of times I've had a spinning drive attached to that and forgotten that I'm not allowed to simply grab the laptop and like walk downstairs to sign for the UPS guy and said, okay, I might have just lost 500 gigabytes worth of stuff. Easy come, easy go.
I feel dumb. I didn't know this. Actually, I think I knew it and forgot it. Because we had a Samsung phone that had that weird Type-C connector, the one with the dimple. And John Slanina just pointed out, a micro USB will go in the little part of the left part of that. So you wouldn't get USB 3 speeds, I presume. This is to step down to USB 2.
It'll work, but you want all the advantages of having a super high speed drive.
Yeah, but if you didn't happen to have a cable around,
right? You'll get power. You'll get speed. You'll just get USB 2.0.
Oh, that's right. This is bus powered, and it's a bus powered terabyte. If you go for the most expensive, that's nice.
Yeah, a bus powered terabyte. Love it.
Yeah, some of our guys will Velcro those little drives to the back of the computer. To your they have Velcro. They have Velcro on the bottom of the drive and Velcro on the back here, and they'll just when they're working they just pull it up and on the road and they just stick it to it just to keep it so it's not hanging out. But
this is so awesome for a Mac.
Once you get used to SSD, it's over.
And how awesome for a MacBook. I mean, it's so little.
Yeah. Particularly MacBook Air,
you're there.
And if you're doing editing, it's great to have your whole library. You can have a drive that just is named, that's your Final Cut or whatever your library there with all your events and everything else, and it's super fast. You're not giving anything up. It's the SSDs are amazing.
The reason you need a special driver for it, I'm reading, is that it's an encrypted drive. It's AES 256 encryption.
You can, if you decide to use that, you can decide not to use that.
But that's what the driver's for. If you didn't use that, then you don't need the driver. I think.
It also gives you smart support. And I was reading up on the standard because it wasn't the sort of thing that I just remember about.
Right.
And so there are some, under certain circumstances, I believe there are some performance enhancements, but it's not a generalized. It's not that it makes everything faster all the time. It's like at certain points of view. Because macOS does not have a driver for this new standard, then it can't take advantage of it. Right. But as I said, I'd much rather make sure that not have to even think or worry about being able to move this from one computer to another. But mostly, I don't like having any texts or any system extensions on my MacBook that I don't absolutely need. Yeah. It has to be an absolutely killer feature for me to put any sort of a system extension on this machine.
Boy, the size is amazing.
I know I'm sorry. I'd like to say that Samsung has let me play with a prototype 3 months before it was introduced. Actually, a neighbor of mine could not get hers started, and so she had me come over to see if I could fix it because she assumed that it would be just like any other drive. She plugs it in, and why is it only 28 megabytes? It's supposed to be like a whole 256 gigabytes.
Oh my God, woman, what is that?
And then I said, oh, actually, this is pretty cool. Who made that? Wow, that's nice. So
Can I make you a blue apron? I'm sorry.
No. I get. See, I'm on a very good barter system with my neighbors. That like, I'll fix something or I'll give them some advice on something, and then they will say, oh, by the way, we made way too much lasagna last night. Would you like to take about 3 pounds of it home for you?
That's what you want. Who were the sisters that lived upstairs from The Odd Couple?
Yes, pigeon sisters. I'm just glad that I'm contributing to the neighborhood I'm glad to have been placed in the crackpot inventor role and not this creepy guy at the top of the street.
Perfect.
He doesn't leave the house a whole lot.
He just got a bicycle, but he seems to have trouble holding it up. No, that's nice. Nothing like leftover lasagna.
Yes.
Made with love.